Hey guys, Mal the Mad Catter. Okay, in today's video, I want to give a shout out and talk a little bit about local cat organizations and cat people in the Southern Nevada, Las Vegas area who do exceptional work for cats. And this can include cat rescue, cat fostering, cat colony care, TNR, and just general caring about cats and trying to make a difference. I'd like to start with an organization that Jackie and I are very familiar with, and that organization is Silver Whiskers Feline Rescue. Now, Silver Whiskers is run by Annie and Jim, great people. We've known these people for years now. We've actually fostered a couple cats through them. One of those cats, sadly, about a year and a half ago, passed away from kidney failure. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. Actually, sitting there with Jackie and Diddy. Diddy was the one that passed, and holding him as he passed away. But Silver Whiskers is an amazing organization. They primarily focus on senior cats, providing lifelong care for many seniors. They also take in other types of cats that are injured or cats that have certain illnesses, cats that may be maimed, three-legged cats, things like that. They do a lot, but their primary focus is with senior cats and giving them a life that, a better life. I don't know if people are aware, but finding good homes for senior cats is very difficult. So having a rescue or a sanctuary type environment like Silver Whiskers Feline Rescue, that these cats can retire to for the remainder of their life, and the high quality of care that they get and the high quality of life that they have forever, how much time they have left. That's an amazing thing, and that's exactly what Silver Whiskers does. So I can't say enough good things about Silver Whiskers, about Annie and Jim. We had a cat, Duke, out in the patio for in our catio for almost a year, who was not only FIV positive, but also had FIP. And Silver Whiskers offered to take him in once he was better. They actually paid for the medication, which is very expensive. This illness, FIP, was a death sentence until a few years ago, but the medication is still quite pricey, but they stepped in, they covered it. I medicated Duke every day out there for 80-something days. I think the first treatment was 40-something days, one pill a day. And they check him at the end of that 40-something day period. If he's still, if there's still signs that he still has the FIP, another 40 days is given. And fortunately for Duke, he was clear after the 80-something day of treatment. And he went to live with Silver Whiskers Feline Rescue, where he is today, and he's doing well. They also stepped in and took in a feral off the streets, who wasn't exactly feral. I think at one point he was probably abandoned out there, and he kind of just clicked up with the colony. But Bubs, you guys remember Bubs. Bubs was the old senior tuxedo cat, had a little white mark on his upper lip, and he was good friends with another cat that we lost recently, lost him on the street. But they used to hang out down there all the time, and Bubs developed some dental infections. I got a great trapper who I'll talk about later to come down and get him. Anytime I get to a situation where I'm having issues trapping a cat, I always call this one guy, and his name will come up later. But we were able to get Bubs, get him some dental care, and Silver Whiskers stepped in and they said, we'll take him too. So Bubs and Duke are both out there with many other senior cats, living out the rest of their lives. So we are very in debt to Silver Whiskers Feline Rescue. They are a great organization. I can't say enough good stuff about them. Annie and Jim are some of the best people. So with all these people and groups that I talk about, all the information for the organizations will be listed down below in the video description. Some of the people I talk about later that aren't actually part of an organization that just do this on their own, I won't have any links because, you know, people don't want their personal stuff put out there. So, but for links for any of the organizations, just look down below. The second organization I want to talk about is Community Cat Angels. Community Cat Angels is an organization here in Las Vegas that's run by a friend of Jackie and mine. And her name is Nancy, wonderful human being. But these guys do so much for cats in the Las Vegas area. They take cats in, they get them healthy, they get them up for adoption, an amazing rescue. So I can't say enough about them. You guys may remember about 8 months ago, 9-10 months ago, I trapped a little black male cat I thought was feral out front. He turned out to be totally socialized, totally sweet. His name was Zorro. Well, Community Cat Angels and Nancy stepped in and took him and got him up into adoptions, and he was adopted by a family. So they've also taken in kittens that we've had in the past. These are great people. You know, I can't sing Nancy's praises highly enough. She's an amazing human being. So we are also in forever grateful for Community Cat Angels. So on to the next organization I want to mention. I look down. I know it's not very professional, but you know, I'm starting to lose my memory, I think, a little bit the older I get. So I do keep notes when I do stuff like this. Amor Peludo is run by an amazing woman named Natalie. Now, Natalie's helped us quite a bit over the last few years. Amor Peludo is her nonprofit organization. But Natalie is an extraordinary human being. And I remember the first time that Natalie came out to help us. I think I actually posted some video of it. It was probably about 1.5 to 2 years ago. There was a cat down at the original colony. This is right after the original caretaker died. They all used to hang out on the hill of a semi-busy road. Sorry. Over her back wall. There was this big concrete embankment, and all the cats used to hang out there. There'd be 40 cats out there at night. And there was this one old cat, old ginger cat, kind of a medium-haired ginger cat. And he kind of looked like Golden Boy, but a much bigger version. He had a nub tail. He had lost his tail at some point. He was just a beautiful cat. And I got a text message one night saying from a feeder who feeds down there, and I'll talk about her later, that there was a really sick cat down there. This cat was in really bad condition, and she sent me a couple photos from her phone. And the cat had like maggots on it, and its whole face was pus, and it was in really bad condition. And it was from an upper respiratory infection. And so I kind of made my way down there. I saw the cat. At that time, I didn't have a net. Thank you to the person who sent us a net. Now I do if I ever run into that situation again. But I didn't know what to do because I didn't know how to get this cat. This cat had gone in under a patio on the property of the former caretaker who was dead. Her house was being renovated, so it was kind of open. I was able to get back there to try to get the cat. So I called Natalie, and within an hour, Natalie was there. And Natalie had a net, and Natalie was able to net this cat up, who she gave the name Angel to. And this was on a Saturday, I believe. And she was going to try to get him into the vet on Monday to get him some antibiotics to see if there was anything they could do to save him. But unfortunately, Angel passed away on Sunday, so he didn't even make it to the vet. It was a horrible situation, but Natalie came right out. Natalie just was so amazing. And she was willing to go that extra mile for this cat that was obviously in just absolutely horrible shape. So, you know, my hat's off to Natalie, and her organization is Amor Peludo. You can find it in the description down below. And I can't say enough nice stuff about Natalie. She's really been there. Natalie also steps in from time to time and picks up cats for us from here or drops them off, for TNR, for spay and neuter. Just an absolute gem of a human being. So thank you, Natalie. All right. Now on to another rescue. This rescue is directed by a guy that I kind of really look up to. He's the guy that actually kind of inspired me to start trapping cats. This guy, in my book, is a cat trapping god. This guy's name's Joe Hamrock, and Joe Hamrock is an absolute beast of a trapper. This guy drives all over town when he's not working. I would say 7 nights a week almost. And I've seen this guy trap a dozen cats in a night and more plus. And he just keeps going. And he's probably saved more cats than anybody I've ever met. Joe is absolutely amazing. When we had to trap Bubs, the cat, for Silver Whiskers so that they could get him some help and take him to their sanctuary, Bubs was absolutely eluding me. He wouldn't go into a trap. He wouldn't go near my drop trap. And so I called Joe. Joe came out, and less than 2 minutes of Joe being on the scene, he was in a carrier. Joe got him into a carrier. So Joe is an absolute amazing human being and just the king of cat rescue. Not only does he do TNR and feed cats, when there's cats that are just really in bad shape, he gets them humanely euthanized. We got Gizmo. Gizmo's sleeping under the blanket over there, but we got Gizmo kind of indirectly from Joe. Joe was the one that saved her, found her underneath the dumpster, and she was in horrible shape. But he was able to get Gizmo some help, and then Gizmo ended up at rescue, and Jackie happened to volunteer there, saw Gizmo, and that's how we got Gizmo. So, we're absolutely grateful to Joe Hamrock. What an amazing guy. He's trapped cats in our area before when I've had cats that I couldn't get. An amazing cat trapper, an amazing human being. So thank you, Joe Hamrock. All right, I want to talk about some individuals now out here in Las Vegas that along with these organizations, that they've really been there for us. They've really helped us. They have had a huge impact in our lives in an amazingly positive way. The first one of those people is Kim Lovelady Henry. Kim is the one that I usually work with. I'll trap the cats. She happens to live way on the other side of the Las Vegas Valley. She drives all the way over here to pick the cats up, to get them to clinic, to pick them up from clinic, drop them back off with us. And she is also a colony feeder, a TNR person, many different hats she wears, but she does so much for cats out here in Las Vegas. And we can't thank her enough. We just can't. Kim has just been an absolute blessing. So thank you, Kim Lovelady. Appreciate you so much. All right, who else am I? Aha. Okay, I told you guys when I was talking about Angel and Bubs in the old colony. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you can hear it, but today is kind of one of my bad breathing days, so I'm kind of wheezing today. The old caretaker's name was Nancy, and she lived a few streets over from us. And on the back of her backyard, she had a fence, a wood fence going along her backyard. On the other side of that fence was a big concrete embankment that went down quite a ways to, kind of a semi-busy street. But it's a street that kind of goes from a main intersection, probably a quarter mile down the road, and it curves up. And there's really no one up there. It's just, there's big walls on both sides of the road. So there's not, a neighborhood out there. It's kind of just a detour to get through this area. So people come flying up that street all the time. But her house was on that street. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of cats get hit on that street because people do speed up and down that street. It's on a hill. But the colony used to hang out behind the original caretaker's house. They lived on her property, but they would go over the fence and they would hang out on this embankment at night. And they have a feeder that used to come and make sure that they had food and water and all that stuff. But the original colony caretaker passed away, and so many of the cats that were still left, a lot of the cats died, unfortunately. The original caretaker, who was supposed to be a caretaker, really wasn't doing much. There were dead cats all over her property. There were dead cats in her house, in her attic. It was really a nightmare. It was a horrible situation. It was so bad that this person, you know, had the hoarding disorder, and her house was so bad they couldn't even get a stretcher in her house to get her out. You know, when she was going to the hospital when she died, they had to carry her out physically because there was just so much junk in that house. It was so sad. But when she passed, all the cats in that original colony kind of made their way across the street to another neighbor who had also kind of been feeding them all along. And her name is Jody. You guys are familiar with Jody, who have been following the channel. You know, Jody's the one with Turtle the cat that we did a fundraiser for a few months back. She kind of inherited that cat colony, and she's, you know, done her best to keep up with it. They've got feeding stations with water and crunchies, and, you know, she feeds them every night and every morning. The cats kind of basically moved from the original person's yard and from that big embankment on the semi-busy street across the street in the neighborhood to Jody's house. And Jody kind of looks after that colony and after what's left of that colony, because there really are a lot of cats that turned up missing and that passed away. And it, you know, it was really sad. But Jody really stepped up and did, you know, what she could to help those cats. So I want to give a big shout out to Jody, who, you know, still to this day puts out food and water for the cats and, you know, does what she's able to do to help them. So thank you for caring enough about those cats. Really, it's a huge thing. And lastly, I want to talk about the last person on my little thank you list. It's not the last person, second to last person, but we'll get into that in a minute. I want to put a big shout out to Vera, who is the original colony feeder. She's the lady that used to come pull up next to that big concrete embankment and feed those cats every night like clockwork. Does everything. She still comes by. I just saw her. I don't see her much anymore because there's not a lot of cats down there. But they probably pass through during late night and eat what she leaves and gets water over there. But for years, Vera's been going there and feeding these cats and filling up their water and looking out for them. And she's not part of any organization. She just does it out of the kindness of her heart. So I wanted to thank her. I know she's probably not going to see this. I don't even know if she has social media. So, but I did want to put her name out there and talk about her a little bit so people could know that, you know, there's some amazing unsung heroes out there that do things for cats that people never hear about. So Vera's one of those people. So thank you, Vera. I know you're not going to see this, but thank you anyway. You know, what you've done for those cats for years now is absolutely, it's absolutely commendable. Yeah, what an amazing person. All right. So lastly, I am going to thank my wife, Jackie. Jackie. You never really see her in videos. Jackie doesn't like being on camera. Doesn't want to be on YouTube. But she's not here right now, by the way. She's out watching somebody's dog for the next 4 days, house sitting and watching their dog. She volunteers for a rescue, and the head of this rescue is, you know, out of town for the next 4 days. So, you know, Jackie told her, no problem, I'll watch your dog and house sit for you. So Jackie's over there. I'm over here taking care of the cats for 4 days and making videos. So anyway, I wanted to really thank Jackie because, you know, we do this together. I know I'm kind of the face on YouTube, and, You know, I'm the guy that walks all over the neighborhood filming cats and doing all that stuff. But Jackie's my support system. So, you know, Jackie's here. Jackie's always encouraging me to do it. Jackie's encouraging me to go out. She can't really go out in the heat during the summer. You know, she has medical issues that, you know, would get compounded if she's out in 108-degree weather. But she's always been a source of support and inspiration. She always tells me I'm doing a great job and is very supportive. I mean, we wouldn't have 13 cats right now, you know, basically, if it wasn't for her. I know she blames me for that equally, but I wasn't a cat person, you know, until her and I got together, moved in together, and we ended up getting Darby. And she kind of was a big part of that, influencing me to get into cats. So, you know, I owe her a lot. You know, I owe her a lot. She's awesome, and you know, her and I are like one person when it comes to these cats. Like, you know, it's unbelievable. I'm so grateful for her. So I know you're going to see this video. So thank you. I'm going to publicly thank you. So, but anyway, so. I know right now she's going, oh, she mentioned me, but I love you, Jackie. All right. So the last thing I want to mention is Las Vegas Cats. Now, this is a Facebook group, and the reason I'm mentioning this, if there's anybody in the Las Vegas area that ever has cat issues or cat questions or anything like that, I know it's hard by Google searching and stuff to try and figure out who to call or what to do. If you find a cat, or if you have a question about your cat, or, you know, whatever, I know it's hard. Like, if you try and call a vet office, they'll, you know, want you to come in and whatever. But if you just want a one source place for information, there is a group on Facebook called Las Vegas Cats. And once you join that group, it is a private group. You have to join it. But once you join it, some of the best people in the cat community in Las Vegas are on there. So all the people I've mentioned today, all the organizations, at least, are on there. So if you have questions, or if you know, maybe you don't know what the law is on cats or something like that, you can always go on there and ask questions, and you can get a lot of feedback from a lot of good people. So I want to mention that. I will put a link down below. Las Vegas Cats. It's a group, private group on Facebook. I will leave that link down there too. So doesn't matter what it is, you know, you get, if you've got something going on, a rash or something with your cat, you can put a picture on there. First thing I will tell you is 99% of the time about medical stuff, they will tell you to take your cat to a vet. So that's going to be anywhere, not just Las Vegas Cats, but anywhere. They will tell you to, you know, have your cat seen by a vet. But if you have just, you know, questions, or, you know, if you've never had a cat and you're interested in getting one, go on there, join the group, get in there, ask questions, you know, and there is a wealth of information with those people in that group. So, all right, that's pretty much what I had for this video. There are a lot of other people that I haven't mentioned out here in Las Vegas that are doing great things for cats. These are just the people that we deal with. These are the people that we interact with. You know, I don't really have a lot of interaction with a lot of people. I spend most of my time with cats. So, but I do know of a lot of these great people out here in Las Vegas. To all of you out here in Las Vegas, and anybody anywhere in the world who's doing good things for cats, trying to help cats, you are appreciated. So if you weren't mentioned in this video, still kudos to you. Thank you so much for all you guys do out there for cats. So, all right, guys, I've got cats to check on and stuff to do. So I wanted to get this video out today, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you learned a little bit about some of the people out here that we interact with. This was basically an opportunity for me to express my gratitude for all these people in these groups. They're the most amazing people I've met. So huge thank you to all our subscribers. Thank you guys out there so much. None of these videos, well, I mean, they'd be possible, but they wouldn't be what they are today. I wouldn't be doing half the stuff I'm doing if it wasn't for you guys. So To all our subscribers, thank you guys so much. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. And as always, do something kind for cats.